everyone, welcome to another episode of Inspiring Series Video Podcast. And today I'm very honored and excited because I have a very special guest with me today. Is none other than Gajen Nad. Hi Gajen, how are you?
Hello, Farisha. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Oh my God, Gajen, I follow you on TikTok. You buat I ketawa tau. Thank you
Yeah,
for
it's been
making
it's been
the
a while since I
whole
posted
of
my last video.
Malaysia ketawa. Thank you. Thank you for making
Thank
us
you. Thank
laugh.
you.
Because laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so Gajen, can you tell us more about yourself and how do you started being a comedian and MC?
Well, it actually, if I rewind back, I think in high school I was active in scouts, and in scouts we have campfires, and for campfires we need to do a dance and a sketch, and for the sketch usually the funniest one will win. So I think that's where the creativity and humor started, but it's not stand up. But I guess that's where the spark started. If you talk about stand up, it started back in university. I attended a talent night competition, and I wanted to dance because that year Michael Jackson passed away. So I wanted to dance a Michael Jackson dance. But at the same time, I got a life principle where I don't like to do what majority of the people do. So in every talent show, singing and dancing is definitely there. So it's way too common. So I thought, hey, why not? Out of 8 minutes, I do 4 minutes dance, and then the remaining 4 minutes I tell jokes. So I tried telling jokes. Apparently, the judges liked it, and I got second. And since then, the university kept asking me to perform. And then in 2012, my friend saw my video on YouTube and asked me to perform in an actual stand-up comedy show in Publica. So the show was called Comedy Cow Cow, was hosted by Dr. Jason Leong. So I tried the open mic spot. So for all the listeners, open mic spot is like a fresh graduate program, put it in analogical manner, right? So anyone can go and try it out, So I tried out 3 minutes, it went well. And from there, February 2012 onwards, I just kept on doing stand-up comedy, and that's how it started.
Okay, for the next question, what is the most challenging moment in your career and how do you overcome it? How do you bounce back?
I guess challenging was making the switch from going part-time to full-time. I think it's because, see, I grew up, my parents are from the boomer generation. And, growing up, we have all been told, get a professional job, climb the corporate ladder, get good grades, all this is all in me, stability and all, which is not wrong. Yeah, it's true to a certain way. So in 2018, that's when I left my job. So in 2018, I had 5.5 years of experience in IT consulting. I was an ex-IT consultant in Accenture. And for stand-up comedy, I had 6.5 years because I started stand-up comedy when I was a final year engineering student in Monash. So what made me do the jump was I came up with the good thing I was in consulting, because in consulting, I work with MDs and all that. They helped me to sharpen my decision-making skills. So for me to make that jump, I had a couple of checklists. The first thing is obviously finance, right? So at that point in time, my part-time stand-up comedy income could actually cover my expenses. So that's another key point, I think, for all listeners, to all Malaysians. Financial literacy quite low in this country. So I will always advise people to track your expenses. That's number one, right? Point number two is I wasn't starting from ground zero. A lot of people out there, when they come to me, hey Gaja, I like playing the violin. Should I just not? After I graduate, should I just be a violinist? Yeah, you can, but just FYI, the failure rate is going to be quite high. You need to go through a bigger hurdle. Or what you can do is you can just find a 9-to-5 job and do your music on the side, and then just see it grow from there. So that's point number two, right? Because I already had 6.5 years of experience in my bag before making the jump. And then point number three is the reason why I wanted to make the jump was in Accenture, I was holding the role of a consultant. So the role of the word consultant in my company means like assistant manager. So the next role is manager. So for me to make the big jump, for me to make the next the next role as a manager, I need to put in way more hours to learn about SAP, which is like IT stuff. And my stand-up comedy career was hitting a ceiling, which means I'm hitting a time limit, right? I got not enough time to go further in any of this career. So I need to let go one already. So I think these are the three key points, three key check boxes before I made like the decision, and it paid off. It was well the risk was well calculated. I didn't really have major hiccups after I left my job.
I have to salute you, Gajen, because it's not easy to take the leap of faith and to step outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
easy. Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not easy. And then your mindset pun kan kena
Yeah,
kuat,
correct.
be
Yeah,
very strong as well.
yeah.
Okay, and for the next question, okay, I do follow you on LinkedIn and I see that you're very active talking about mental health, and then you make a lot of people happy and you make people laughing listening to your talk. So can you share a bit about that?
Yeah. So to be honest, I'm very uneducated in mental health until the pandemic happened. And during the first MCU, I remember I was just doing video content because that time we had a lot of time. And people started messaging me like, "Hey, Gaja, I've been feeling very depressed, and I'm saying this because after I watched a video, I felt happy." And when I look at all these messages, I used to think that depression only picked on people who are financially, unstable. But actually, that's not true. Depression does not pick any income bracket. It can be. No, I mean, as in depression chooses anyone from any income bracket. So that was an eye opener because I have some people saying, "Hey, I'm a director of XX company, which is MNC, and I'm, very depressed. But thanks to your videos, I'm happy now." So when I saw these messages, started thinking, and then I got, articles started at that time. Mental health articles are trending. So I started reading up because we are mostly educated in physical health, not mental health, right? So I started learning about that, and companies started engaging me. Say, "Hey, Gajen, since we have a mental health series, we have already got a doctor doing one of the sessions. We'd like to have you on board since you're in the humor line. Maybe you can talk about happiness." And that's how it started. Yeah. And it's been a very interesting journey. I think like before this, you mentioned about uh, voicing out, right? You say it's okay to cry and all that. And that's very important because a lot of companies, in fact, a lot of leaders have not created a safe space for their employees to voice out their problems. Putting an online survey and saying, "Do you have any problems?" is not going to, make the cut. If you're a leader, you got to really engage with your employees and really create that safe zone. It's just like you got a bunch of friends. You got some friends where you're willing to share very sensitive stuff, very personal stuff. Certain friends you don't share. Why? Safe space. And that is all related to mental health also. When you share, it is by just listening, you're actually helping the other person to be mentally healthier by just listening. Just like before this podcast, I was listening, and you didn't have to say like, "Hey, sorry, I'm sharing all this." So because we grew up in a way where if you cry, if you share your problems, you are weak. That's not true. If you share, it actually shows that you're strong. If you cry, it shows you're strong because you're expressing out. So yeah, that's how the journey started. And this mental health thing, even I'm also learning a lot. I really don't know a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. It's a huge topic. And I just wish more companies would actually invest more in their employees' mental health, because I like to believe that regardless what kind of machines or softwares that you have, at the end of the day, people are assets.
Yes, and I absolutely agree with you. People are assets, and companies, your people make it happen. Yeah, your people bring the business.
Yeah.
And for me, I would like to share a bit on my personal experience, Gajen. I lost my father in 2016. Passed away due to heart attack and diabetes. And I'm a daddy's girl. I'm very
Sorry
close
to hear.
to him. Very, very close to him. And it's hard. And like you said, the loss, it's been 6 years, but the healing process is ongoing. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to talk about it. And it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you are weak when you cry, because it's relatable to everybody. We all lost someone. We all lost family members. And we have to remember that, this life is not permanent. This life is temporary. And everyone will experience the same thing. So for me, the difficult moment was 2016. Was my toughest year. I was in a depression, Gajen, for 1 year. And I was very lucky at that time because I have a very understanding and caring general manager. my boss.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So she told me, balik sekarang, you balik, jangan fikir pasal kerja, balik rumah. So then I told her, Puan, bapa saya meninggal, saya kena balik. Mak saya call, and that was 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. I was just about to open my laptop. Now buka laptop, check my emails, and then I was supposed to sit at a meeting at 10:30, but I didn't go because my mom called at 9, said,
Yeah.
Papa dah tak ada. Yeah? And for me, I think that was very difficult, but I am very grateful. I'm very blessed to have a very caring and responsible general manager. And she told me, don't worry about it, go home. And then 1 week after, my dad passed away. My general manager and the entire office came to my house to pay their respect and condolences. So for me, I think this is very important. Support system. We talk about that. The support system. Because when you work for a company or organization, you know, it's all about caring for one another. It's all about the support system. So when they came to my house, I feel like, you know, of course, you rasa macam, you know, they come to your house and they pay respect. And at that time, 1 week after my dad meninggal. So for us in Islam, we have the tahlil, we have the tahlil ceremony, we have the tahlil, we have the bacaan Yasin. Then it takes a while to you know, to go through that. So 2016 and 2017.
You see, like what you just said, right? Like when they were there, you say like support system, right? See, at the end of the day, it's people taking care of people. So that's why I always tell companies, at the end of the day, your people are assets. You know, your software is not going to be there for you to support you. You know, your machine is not going to be there for you. At the end of the day, it's people, you know, caring for other people. Because no matter how good a robot or software is, it will never have that emotional touch on human beings. So like what you said just now, it's very nice to see your company like say it's okay, you can go back, because I've seen like some social media viral issues where they say let's say like I've lost someone, right? Then boss will be like, can you please at least attend this meeting and finish your job for the day before you attend your funeral. So very sad to see that happen, but good to see that your company, you know, is caring for you.
Yeah, so that was back in 2016. That was back in my previous employment, previous company. So for me, I think that is very important, yes, caring for each other. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's not the machine, it's not the machine, it's not the computers, it's human heart. Yeah?
Correct.
Kita punya heart, kita punya hati. That is very important.
Yeah.
And I like what you're doing, Gajen, because you know when you make people laugh, you buat orang ketawa. You know, you buat orang ketawa. Memang masalah tu ada. The problem will still be there. But when you make people laugh, people will forget about their problems ketika and think about how blessed they are and count their blessing, even though that they are facing, you know, life circumstances, problems. Because as human beings, we all have problems. It's how we manage it. Macam mana kita handle? How do we manage the problem?
Betul.
Okay, so we have come to the final question, Gajel, the final question for the interview today. Okay, what is your advice to people who are interested to become like you? Yeah, to become a stand-up comedian and also MC, and also people who are interested to talk about, you know, mental health or how to be happy, how to be joyful, how to appreciate life.
I would say, okay, so maybe to summarize that, I would say anyone who's interested to do their passion, right? I would say first things first is you got to ask yourself why. In whatever you do, I think a lot of people still don't know their whys. Even like in the corporate world, many people don't know their whys. They'll be like, I come to work because I need to pay for my tuition, for my child's tuition fee. That's not deep enough. It needs to be why, right? The purpose. So the why is very important. Like for me, when I went up on stage, it was just just like for fun. But then when I saw people laughing and I'm on stage looking at people of different backgrounds laughing, I'll say, you know what, this is my why. I enjoy seeing people laughter, and laughter unites people. So number one is your why you want to do what you do. Second of all, now this has been a debate whether you be a specialist or a generalist. Well, the answer is actually both. You got to be known for something, so you got to be a specialist. At the same time, if you just be a specialist, you're not going to go far, because a lot of people, they're just good at one thing, but then anything out of that one thing, they're just like dead zero, and that's when you'll falter down now. So you got to be a generalist. So I'll give you an example. Like I think one of the
Multitask. Yeah.
correct, yeah. One of the key things is like a lot of people in the stand-up comedy industry, I'll just give an example, are really good at stand-up comedy, but when it comes to like talking to the corporate folks, or when it comes to like marketing, branding, which are all different skills already, when it comes to like hosting, or when it comes to networking, it's like the skills are right down here. So that's what I'm trying to say, that you need all the other skills. For example, time management, people management, financial management, communication skills, yeah, presentation skills. This one you can't run away, regardless of whatever career you're in. So yeah, whatever that you do is just more than that, because a lot of people will tell, I'm good guitarist, yeah, but that's not enough. You got to be good at networking, marketing, branding, communication skills, blah blah blah. So that's point number two. Point number three is you got to have a plan. Yeah, a lot of people still don't have a plan. Like they don't know what they want to do. If you ask a lot of corporate folks, where are you going to be the next 10 years? Yeah,
Yeah, the
correct.
direction. Yeah.
Because you see, when you work for a company, the ladder is already there. Like executive, then assistant manager, then manager, director, senior director, MD. But once you do your passion, there is no ladder. So you got to build your ladder. What do you actually want to do, and have at least a rough timeline. That's one. And then I guess the final one would be, you got to mix around with people in that industry and talk to people who have made it. That's the only way, rather than you try to reinvent the wheel. So I guess these are like the key pointers for anyone who wants to do their passion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Gajen. Thank you for sharing your tips, your advice, and also words of wisdom. Okay, so
Welcome.
we have come to the end of the show, Inspiring Series Video Podcast. And also thank you for letting me share about my personal story.
No worries at all.
And I think it's very important for us to talk it out,
Yeah.
to share it with people, because sometimes people they just keep it inside, can they just simpan, and then when you keep it inside, it hurts. But if you share it with people, if you share it with people, you say that, like I told my friend, like, I miss my dad, and then my friend say, the best thing for you to do is doa. After sembayang, after solat, after I pray, I doa for him, because I know that the doa will go to him, So usually, I will recite a doa, or I will baca Yasin for my late father, and I do a lot of sedekah as well.
Yeah.
Sedekah, I sedekah to anak yatim, golongan yang memerlukan, and this is for my late father, Allah yarham Haji Abdul Syukur bin Muhammad. So in Islam, when we bersedekah for our family members, this is like a dua for them. So for me, that is how I heal, and that is how I remember my dad, even though it has been 6 years. But yeah, so the healing process is still ongoing, and I know
that's good to know.
Yeah, and I know he's with me. His spirit is with me, and life has to go on.
Yeah, correct.
Life goes on.
I'm very sure he's very proud of you, of what you're doing right now. So keep it up, Farisha.
Thank you, Gajen. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Gajen, for being in Inspiring Series Video Podcast. So take care.